In this episode of Mind Readings, let's talk about diversity in your content, particularly your visual content. One of the things that people have said over the years is that, with content they've created, when asked, well, why isn't there more representation in your content? People would say things like, we couldn't find anyone suitable. We don't have any employees who are in that group of people. We don't have staff that are that diverse. We didn't have the right agency, or our agency didn't have the talent. And for years, we've heard excuse after excuse from creative organizations and companies that they couldn't find or afford diversity and representation, right, in their marketing materials. There's other things at play there, right? Putting aside demographics data and the fact that these folks, at least some of them, were probably just unwilling to create marketing materials that involve people who didn't look like them. Those excuses are now permanently over, like permanently. Why? In the last year, we have seen astonishing leaps forward in creative technologies with things like OpenAI's DALL-E 2 or Hugging Face's and Stability AI's Stable Diffusion, Midjourney. These systems can generate images, right? You give them a text prompt and it creates an image. And these images are royalty-free, they are copyright-free, they are labor-free in a lot of cases, right? I mean, obviously, you have to generate them, but it's not like you have to go hire a crew of actors and film directors and stuff like that to do a photo shoot. And you still get representations of people, right? You still get images that look like people. So you can create clip art, stock photography, etc., of people of any age, ethnicity, nationality, background, gender, without leaving your desk. You don't have to leave your chair to do this. So instead of the stock image, like two people sitting at a meeting, staring awkwardly at each other, you can create that and not have to pay a stock photography company, a licensing fee for it. Which means that you can ask these machines for different people, right? Instead of saying two guys sitting at a table, right, in an office, you could type in an Indian man and a black woman sitting at a table in an office, right? And it will create and render semi-realistic images or paintings or watercolors or whatever medium you want to choose. That would be totally appropriate for business use, right? All clip art we use all looks the same anyway. It's people in nice suits having conversations, etc. No one would blink an eye about it. But that generic clip art image can now represent whoever you want it to represent, right? Maybe you do live in an area where there are no Latino people. Oh, well, now you can just type in, a Latino man and a black woman at a desk in an office, right? Or a Latino man and an Indian woman talking at a water cooler, right? All the typical marketing imagery. And you don't have to go and find talent. You don't have to rent a location. You generate this image quality. You generate the stuff with this artificial intelligence, which means there are no excuses anymore for you to not have diverse populations represented in your marketing materials. None. With a few typed commands, a few clicks of your mouse, you can create literally any grouping of people you want, right? You can create 3 black women in gray business suits holding iPads, sitting at a conference room table, and the machines will create a credible representation of that. You might need to tune it up with like GFPGAN to tune up the faces a little bit. But you can create it. You can make it. You can have it. You can use it in your marketing materials. Which means that from today on, from this day forward, the only reason you are not being more inclusive in your marketing materials is because you are making a conscious choice not to be. Right? You are making a conscious choice not to be when the alternatives are free and relatively easy. That's the important part. As of today, with these tools, you can make free, unlicensed, relatively easy imagery of any kind of people you want. And some of the artwork that people are creating with these tools is astonishing. It's so realistic. It looks so good. You're not being representative because you choose not to be. You're not being inclusive because you choose not to be. And customers, consumers, members of the public will absolutely start to judge you that way, because creating 5 Guatemalan kids building a battle robot is within these creative tools capabilities. So you choosing people who only look like you, whoever you are, means that you're making a conscious choice not to be inclusive, when being inclusive is just as easy and just as low cost. So that's today's thoughts. Thanks for tuning in.
If you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.